All right, I just want to be unequivocally clear with this. Masons were in Europe before they came to America, and they called themselves Freemasons because it was an inside joke. When Masons came to America, there were already buildings, temples, cities, and civilizations, so everything was free to the Masons because they claimed it. They said that they built it, but in fact, they did not. The word mason began in Europe, which is for builder, but builders in general or stone stackers did not originate in Europe nor Africa nor in one place. People all over the world were stacking stones and building things. In fact, there are pyramids in America that predate the Egyptian pyramids. In 1942, when Nikola Tesla was found dead in his hotel room in New York, all of his documents were seized by government officials and taken to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where John G. Trump, the uncle of Donald Trump, was the head researcher, and they didn't want Nikola Tesla's documents to fall into the wrong hands. But obviously, the government is the wrong hands, because then in 2001, September 11th, Nikola Tesla's death ray, which he patented, was used, a DEW, direct energy weapon, to dustify the towers in midair. They were literally obliterated with a high-frequency radiation technology. Also, Rosicrucianism, where the rose is at the center of the cross, meaning your heart, your corazon, the core of your body where the electromagnetic field is produced from. The electromagnetic field itself is invisible, and that is the spirit, because our bodies are the effect of everything physical, which is the attribute of source, which is metaphysical, and that is why we have the black and white checkerboard. It represents matter and spirit. In fact, the word cabal is cube and ball because we are supposed to go from a cube to a ball. Cube represents matter and the ball represents spirit. This is how we ascend. Jesus becomes Christ. Pinocchio becomes a real boy. George W. Bush and his father are known to be a part of the Skull and Bone Society out of Yale University. They were a big part of the Twin Towers being a Masonic ritual, as they stood for 33 years and became the One World Trade Center. As Masons study the Bible, therefore Jesus becoming one with his father was replicated at Ground Zero. This ritual was a metaphor for enlightenment, ascension, and integration, which is the holy science to become whole again, as we have fallen from the Garden of Eden, which means one in Macedonian, because we as 8 billion seemingly separated particles are actually one soul fractured. We are fractals of an infinite consciousness, and love is the unifying force that will bring us back to heaven on earth. As we integrate with nature, because integrating with technology will lead us further away from oneness, or source point of all creation, or the universal God mind, the Twin Towers represented the left and the right brain, masculine and feminine, which together creates the Trinity, or the child, or the Son of God. The Twin Towers stood for 33 years, just like Jesus, and after they fell, the One World Trade Center was erected. That's why resurrection stands for rise erection. Now remember, to become a priest or a priestess, a young adult would have to go to a cemetery, which was a place of holiness where semen retention was taught, but is no longer discussed. The semen or holy anointing oil or the spinal fluid, it is a pure potent and it carries the light and life of the universe. We can transmute that liquid as it goes from the base of our spine, it turns into a gas or a plasma, and when it reaches the crown, that is how we become Illuminati without joining a lodge. It's called syncretism. And that's when you understand occult, what is hidden from the eye, the earth is flat. Because our ancestors were astrologers and none of them were astronomers. The word astronomer is an anagram for moonstarer because we can't actually go to the other planets or the moon. All we can do is stare at them. Our ancestors logged the astros, and that's where the word astrologer comes from. Our ancestors mapped the constellations and the celestial bodies and understood that the sun, moon, and the zodiacs were a perfect timepiece. As we smart up with technology, smartwatches, smart cars, smartphones, and smart homes, what we're going to realize is our independency and natural intelligence will diminish more and more as we smart up with technology. Our ancestors never went to the moon. Because we can't go to the moon, because it's not physical. It's like trying to land on a rainbow. We can see it, but we can't touch it. And this is what people don't even realize. The government and NASA specifically make $21 billion a year from our tax money just so they can feed us CGI composite images of Earth. No real photographs. And also, our beloved Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is a technocrat. And he says it himself, that he wants to run a technocracy on Mars. What's stopping him from running a technocracy here on Earth? The goal is to persuade us that Earth is doomed as it shoots randomly through outer space. And that way we're scared enough to upload our consciousness to the quantum computing beast system, the AI. Elon wants us to give up our soul in order to create interplanetary voyage. It's the Great Deception. Earth is a plane protected by a magnetic field dome. Okay? It's protected with stars nailed to it. They are fixed relative to each other. And the planets are known as wandering stars. Okay? Do you understand that?